Hello, hello everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Say hello when you come in. Let me know you're here. Happy Canada Day to my fellow Canucks. Am I having issues again? Oh, no, there I see me live. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Thought I was having, yesterday I had issues with my internet and it was one of those days where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't today. You guys know those days. I just can't today. Not today. Hi, Vicki. Hi, everybody that's watching and tuning in. Today we are going to do, I hope I'm having a nice Canada Day too. Right now the weather's not too great and I'm supposed to go to a pool party. Not too sure about that one. Doesn't look the greatest outside. But cloudy South Carolina. Nice to see you all. Sorry I've been MIA. But Team Unique has been keeping you guys well occupied. Hello, hello. Just having a few little health issues, nothing major, but it always seems like when I try and go to do something, it's just not gonna happen because, yeah, I'm not feeling good. Hello, hello. Hi, Ruthie. I'm just gonna do a little bit of cutting of this really cute, I don't think I put it on this mesh on there. Oh. And I don't have the number. I know it's on there. Hold on. Just looking up a mesh for you guys. If it's even still sold. Be sold out. Sorry, give me a moment here, guys. I'm just looking for, oh, it's still there. XB. I'm going to start in 1 second. Just give me a second, guys. I just want to update. I don't know if I can update this. Probably screw it up. That way when I go back to do the replay and stuff, I'll have the numbers as well that I can link it. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. I think I got myself situated here. Today we're going to work with the ring board. Okay, so I have the ring board here. We're going to be using 2 colors of mesh, but I'm not going to cut them. We're going to do a different, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm hoping it's going to work. We're going to do a poof method on this wreath. Okay. And I was thinking of putting some of this mesh in as curls. All the links to everything I'm using is in the description, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, but I will link everything up onto the replay. So this is the main focus of our project today. This is sign number 2169. It is an 8-inch. I really, really like this sign. Okay, it says faith over fear with a butterfly. I love butterflies. And so I pulled out these 2 mesh from it. Obviously, you could pull out any color meshes that you want. This sign pretty much has everything in it. And then I'm going to be adding this ribbon. We just got this ribbon in stock. It is a black and white fine glitter 2.5-inch check. We have 1.5 inch in different colors. The 1.5 inch black and white didn't come in yet, but we got the 2.5 inch. We also have 1.5 black and white glitter vertical stripe as well that would match this. Okay, so this is a 2.5 inch. Obviously you can see it kind of matches the sign there. And then I'm going to be using this really pretty, it's got a bit of glitter sparkle on there as well. It is an orange, pink, and white 1.5 inch. And then I'm going to be using some of this, I think it's 7/8. So yeah, 7/8 double-sided. So one side is the orange, the other side is pink. It actually kind of looks like leather. So all of these, everything you see, it can be found on our website. And I know a lot of you ordered signs through the sale. Thank you for your support. Let's get started, because I'm going to do the base. The base of this wreath is going to be a little bit different. Now, it might have been done before. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of videos anymore, but I'm going to be using the ring board. Okay, let me zoom down a bit. Now, this design I'm doing, you can use any mesh. So this is again a perfect project to make a base with mesh that you have open already. Like I said, you can use any mesh you want. So what I've done, and you don't have to, I did zip ties from hole 1 to 1.5 in every other row. And then I did pipe cleaners in every other row from hole 1 and 1.5. You know what? I might come in with the pipe cleaners after. I'm just going to show you guys how you can do it, because anywhere there's a pipe cleaner, I'm going to put a set of ribbon tails, okay? So wherever there's a zip tie, there's going to be nothing but poofs. So I'll leave these few pipe cleaners in and see how it goes. I'm a big fan of zip ties, and we do, oh, and I forgot to mention, we do have the gray zip ties that match the board. So when you use zip ties, you can, it's very, very neat on the back because you're the exact same color as the board. They are back in stock, as well as we now carry 4-inch Unique in the Creek zip ties. So you know how I put little zip ties on the bottom of my petals? The little 4-inch zip ties. I didn't bring a bag downstairs. It's upstairs. But we do have 4-inch Unique in the Creek zip ties now. They're clear because they're just usually for a stopper at the bottom of petals. And they're really inexpensive. I think they're like 99 cents for a bag. So that is really, really good value. Okay, so this poof method that I was thinking of, we're not going to cut any mesh. I'm going to take 2 rolls of mesh. Obviously a hot pink and an orange, because those are the colors I want to pull out of my sign. And I'm going to keep it on theme with my ribbons too. Now, I had brought home this. I love the gray zip ties too, Ruthie. They were on a really long boat from overseas. They took a long time to get here. Anyways, we got this. I love this stuff. Look at this, my friends. We got 3 new colors of this striped, variegated kind of ombre mesh. This is the blue striped. We got blue stripe. We got a green variegated stripe, which is perfect for Christmas and Christmas trees. And we got a red, white, and blue variegated stripe. It is amazing mesh. It's very high hiding. And this one actually has stripes of metallic navy, royal, and smoke blue in it. Isn't that pretty? This would make the most beautiful rose, or like Sarah flower, or the hybrid flower I did the other day. I brought it home because I was thinking of maybe using it, because even with the blue, I could use blue as my base. But because I wanted to show you a new technique or a new design, I thought I would use two really bright colors so you guys will be able to see what I'm doing, okay? So I'm using this orange and I'm using this hot pink. All right, so first thing we're gonna keep it separate. We're not cutting any mesh. First thing I want to do is I'm going to pinch or ruffle up the edge of the one mesh. Hello, everybody. And then I'm going to do the same for the second mesh. So we're going to have two colors, and these two colors are going to weave in and out of each other quite easily. So I'm going to show you how. Okay, so we got the two ends together. And I'm going to take this end. Where's the top? I think I will start over here. It doesn't really matter where you start. But if you're going to do zip tie pipe cleaner, you're going to want to start in a zip tie. Take the two colors and we're going to zip tie these right to the board. We have red, white, and blue variegated. We have... if you just type in striped mesh, all the striped mesh will come up. There's blue, there's a new green, and then there's a red, white, and blue. Okay, so now I'm going to take my measure buddy. You can also use a piece of 8-inch cardboard or 8-inch anything. I want to make my poofs at 8 inches. So to make sure that every poof is the exact same, I'm just going to use a measuring tool. So from here to here is 8 inches with the measure buddy closed, okay? I'm going to take this measure buddy, I'm going to put it right up against the zip tie under here. I'm going to pull this out to the 8 inches. Okay, so you grab both mesh, pull it out, and then you're going to grasp where the 8 inches is, and then we're going to take our hand and bring it up. Now this is where it would be a lot easier to use zip ties for me, but for pipe cleaners, you can do the same thing. Before I tighten the pipe cleaner, right here, I'm gonna switch these two colors around, okay? Now stay with me and trust the process here. And then I'm gonna press and give it a squeeze, a tighten. Okay, so we have a pink poof on the outside and an orange poof on the inside. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing again. Take your 8-inch, put it underneath. We're going to pull both mesh, pull it to the end of your 8 inches. Okay, push it up. And where I'm holding is 8 inches. I'm going to put it down on my board. And I'm going to switch them. So, just like that. It's just a little easier to do that before you do up the zip tie. Then do up the zip tie. So I don't know if you've noticed, but now that brings my orange to the outside. Okay, remember the pipe cleaners are where we're going to put some ribbon tails. And now my pink poof is on the inside. So I'm going to do that again. Pull this 8 inches to the end. Make a poof. Push it down onto the board. And then we'll just trade places before we tighten it up. So you're making a 2-colored poof weave. So you're going to have 16 poofs. Okay, when you're doing pipe cleaners, you just want to make sure it's tight to the board and give it a twist. All right, and now again, let's cut the zip tie. It is going to be, like, this would be a cool, you wouldn't even need ribbon tails if you didn't want. So I'm opening them up right now so you guys can see that even though we're only using one zip tie or one pipe cleaner on the center of the board, we're kind of weaving it together. So it gives it this really cool look. So I'm going to continue, and all you have to, like I said, all you have to do is just, before you tighten, cross over the color. Okay, now I'm using 8-inch poof, so you can use 10-inch, you can use whatever you want. I find 8-inch is perfect. Then you don't have to cut your ribbon tails so long. I like my ribbon tails cut at 14 inches. If you get too poofy, you know, the poofs go up so high, and then you lose your ribbon tails. Yes, it does look like a French braid, and you're definitely only going to use a half a roll of each color. Okay, so you definitely could do two frames or bases just like this. Now, I'm going really slow. If I was doing zip ties and everything, I'd be flying through this, right? So, you can see orange, pink, orange. Very easy. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I've never seen it. I just thought, oh, that would be cool. As I was playing with poofs, because normally I always cut my mesh, right? You don't always have to cut your mesh to make a base. Okay, and we'll just keep doing like this, make our base. The only thing with this is you have to remember to cross over before you tighten. Because if you tighten and then cross over, you're going to have like I'll show you in a sec. I'll use this one as an example. So if I put my poof and then not cross over, so I'll do it up. I'm just showing you what will happen if you don't cross over before. Okay, didn't cross over. So now I got to remember to cross over, and what happens is, you'll see, you get this weird twist. You get a weird twist in your poof. See how it doesn't look right. So if you twist it, or if you give it a twist before you, or just flip it your color over before you tighten it, you won't get that weird, awkward, like, twist here, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm saying just cross over before you commit. So when I'm using hole 1.5 to hole 1. We'll do that again, but this time we'll cross over before we tighten. Hello everybody, thanks for joining me, and happy Canada Day to all of my fellow Canadians. See, when you cross over, it neatly crosses over, and then you can tighten it in. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So I just trust the process and teach you guys. See? And then we're back to the pink on the outside again. And if you're using pipe cleaners, make sure you tighten and push down against the board. You want to get a good, nice, tight twist. I think that's probably why I like zip ties best. also 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I pull my mesh straight across, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 8 inches. So if you see where I'm saying, right here, pull your mesh, 1, 2, 3, 4, straight across. That happens to be 8 inches. So if you don't have a measuring tool, that's one way you can do it as well. Put pipe cleaner in. I pulled them out. I was going to use all zip ties, but this is actually a good example of how you can use pipe cleaners and or zip ties on the Unique in the Creek boards. You don't have to just use zip ties like I do. Although Jackie uses pipe cleaners all the time. You like this idea? That's wonderful. Okay. Again, wherever there's a pipe cleaner, that's where I'm going to put some ribbon tails. Okay, so again, let's try this for, so right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull it out to the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect 8 inch. Mesh likes to stick to each other. Yeah, just pick out a couple colors that are in the sign or whatever you're using. Oh, I hate when they do that. You would need a lot of 6-inch mesh for this. 6-inch mesh. You're not going to get the volume and the fullness of the mesh. I hate when they do that. Look, I have to start again. Not again, but I have to restart the pink. They put a little piece, no fret. Just undo that. This part of the pink under, put that back on top, and voila, we're connected again. There. So if you get one of those rolls where it's already cut, there you go. Easy peasy. I have more problems with the mesh sticking to each other than doing the actual base of it. So you can every other, so it should go your like orange, pink, orange, pink, orange, pink, to make sure you're doing it correctly. Just have a quick look to make sure your pattern is still correct. Now, if you did, you could do this with 21 inch as well, and it would be really full poofs. So you would just grab your 21 inch exactly like I'm doing. Make your 8 or 9 or 10 inch poofs, whatever you want. And then your poofs would be really super full. So if you have some 21 inch you want to get rid of, give it a try. All right, we're almost done. You know, would work, what 6 inch would work nicely with this would be burlap, because burlap is high hiding. And you want to make sure, see, when your mesh kind of makes that poofiness, you want to make sure that both edges of your mesh, when you squeeze it together, that the poofs are still going to open up nicely. You don't want your have your mesh like this way where, you know, that poof here is not working properly. I know this is going to be fun. So we're going to use this nice bright black and white with, it's got, like I said, this sign is great because it's got every color you can think of. So hopefully I showed you guys something new. I have not seen this done before like this, so it'll be interesting. Okay, we have one left, so we're back to where we started. Okay, and what I'm going to do where we started, I'm going to put a zip tie right over top of the original zip tie, and we'll put another poof in there and zip tie it, and we'll be done. So I used a half a roll of mesh of each color, and it made a nice full base. Now you don't have to twist it now because we're done. Just put it right down on top of that zip tie, and then we'll come around and do it up. Alrighty. Okay, let's cut this off. Cut it off as close to the zip tie as we can so you don't see the end. Okay. Ooh, you put rhinestones on the flowers. What a great idea. You could get, now I've done a million, not a million times, but I've done it a million times, but not online. But I have done where I've shown you how you can amp up your wreath signs by adding like glitter. That would be fun. Okay, so like I said, wherever my pipe cleaners are is where we're going to put ribbon tails. But we want to open our poofs. So there's the orange. Now the pink was already open. I don't know what I used it for. I might have used it for some ruffles. So, but I'd still have enough with this to make another base. Now I was also thinking of adding maybe some of this window pane. Let's see how it looks. This is yellow, pink, green. It's like a horizontal wide stripe. It's fairly inexpensive. I was thinking of doing maybe some curls maybe. Let's see. Oh, that might be pretty. Bring in some of that green. Now I'm going to put my ribbon tails in first. I know Jackie, when she does curls, she puts her curls on the top of the ribbons. I'm going to try it like her. So let's just open our poofs. So when you're opening your poofs, you want to grab the one edge, the factory edge of the poof, find the other edge of the poof, okay? And once you got both, you want to kind of just open it all up so it's nice and fluffy. And you're going to do that to all of them. So that's why it's easier to do it after you're done making all your poofs. That way it does, when you're actually going to do your weave or whatever, you can still see your zip ties and stuff. If you open your poofs as you go, it's going to be harder to see your zip ties in your, so look how poofy that is already. This little part I opened, these parts I didn't. So you can see a really big difference. So yeah, if you have a couple half rolls, and they don't even have to be the same mesh. If you have a half roll of a color that you like that's horizontal wide stripe and another one that's, you know, maybe a fabric mesh, use them both. You won't be able to tell. Grab it, open it up. Now, if you had it all twisted, this part would be really hard to do and you wouldn't get that nice curvature or that nice poof that you want. So you want to take your time when you're making your poofs. So when you go to open them up, they look really nice, right? And nice and full. Look how pretty that is. You don't even need ribbon tails and stuff. YouTube shut down? Oh, did it really? Thanks for letting me know. Let me see what's going on. That's weird. It says it's still streaming. Somebody just said YouTube shut down. We're having so many technical issues here, and I know it's my internet and the weather. Yeah, you could put ruffles in. I'll put a couple. We'll put a couple ruffles or something in the pipe cleaner part and see how it looks. Because you can fill it up as much as you want. Like I said, you could even make this base like this, even with like a value mesh. If you're going to put, you know, some ruffles on top to give it that texture. But when you're doing something like this and you're going to cover it all with, not all of it, but most of it, if you're going to cover it with ribbons and stuff, don't use super expensive mesh. Okay, you don't want to use like a poly burlap to have it all be colored or covered. Oh, it's fine? Okay, somebody had just said that it wasn't. All right, I think we're done opening our poofs. This one looks like it needs to be pulled out just a bit. Okay, so if you wanted to do all zip ties, once you opened all your poofs, you could go around and put another zip tie in every other one. We put pipe cleaners in every other one. So there's the back of my ring board. Okay, every other one from hole 1 to 1.5, I did pipe cleaner, and the other ones is just a zip tie. And you can see my nice little orange pink pattern. Alrighty, nice full base. Look at that. Super cute. Looks like big balloons. All right, so the ribbons. Because we're using this sign, pretty much sky's the limit. It's got every color in it. But I'm going to start it out with this black and white check, which is going to break up some of the orange and pink because I'm using orange and pink ribbon as well. Okay, and then I have some 7/8, which I probably will use maybe just on a bow. So this is double-sided though. It's orange and hot pink on the other side. Happy Canada Day to you guys as well. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so we have 8 pipe cleaners. So we're gonna do 8 pieces of this black and white check ribbon. And I'm gonna do 8 pieces of this orange, hot pink, and plaid ribbon at 14 inches. And I'm gonna do 8 pieces of just the orange. You can use the orange side or the pink side, whatever one you want. So I'm gonna pull this out. I've already got 4, so I'm gonna do 4 at 14 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We do have this checkered ribbon in 1.5 and 2.5 in different colors. It does have like a fine glitter on it, and the glitter does not come off. Same with the vertical stripe glitter. I know a lot of people don't like to use glittered ribbon because the glitter falls off. This does not. Okay, so there's that one. I need 4 of this one. You got one on the sale. That was a good time to get it at the Measure Buddy. So I'm just dovetailing the ends. Okay, so my sign, I'm going to put, so if you look at the back, there's our hanging holes right there. So that's going to be the top. I'm just going to take one of my zip ties and go down the one hole, push it up, and make a hanger. So this is the top of my board. So I think I'm going to keep it very simple. Now you can add florals and greenery and all kinds of stuff to this as you're going. I'm just going to keep it very simple. So I'm going to put my sign. So we'll look at it. This is a clock, so that would be 12 and 6. I'm going to put my sign about 8 o'clock. And I'm going to put a bow around 10 o'clock. So the bow is going just to go kitty corner across the sign. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I did see somebody recently asking about punching holes into your sign. This is a metal hole puncher. You can get them on Amazon, or you can even get them at any craft store. The hole puncher has to be labeled metal hole puncher. You can't just use a hole puncher from like the dollar store that you use for paper or anything. But you can, sometimes if you're adamant enough, you can use your wood burner, believe it or not. So you could, kind of wood burn a hole. These are not expensive. So if you use a lot of signs and you don't want to fuss with the cable mounts and all that stuff, grab yourself a metal hole punch, really inexpensive. And I'm just going to punch a hole right at the top. And makes just this little hole. And then I'm going to do one right at the bottom, right down below. So hopefully whoever was asking the question about the hole puncher, there we go. And I'm going to use 2 black. Hi, Virginia. Yeah, I haven't been feeling well lately, so yeah, I haven't been on a lot. All right, so I'm using black, so the black pipe cleaner you can barely see. This one I could use maybe gray, but I'm going to use black anyways. Nobody's really going to be able to tell. Okay, so my sign is ready to go. Okay, hole punched. I think I might have this hole punch on my Lori's favorite tools. Can't remember. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grab a coffee. Look how pretty this is going to look.
Yeah, I've been watching you.
Oh, you were watching me?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, let's put some color onto this. So like I said, all the... Oh, wait, we were going to try and do some ruffles. We could either do different color ruffle. Let's try. I'm just going to do a 10-inch piece of this. I'll do a curve. Fold that in, go down the center, fold that in. Again, a good way to use up some leftover mesh. And then we're just going to put this ruffle into the pipe cleaner and give it a half twist. Oh, that's kind of pretty too, because it's see-through, so you still see all your orange and pink. And then let's try putting some ribbon tails on and see. I want to see if I like it. So I'm using their 14-inch. Pinch it in the middle. Let me do the next one without a ruffle and see which one I like better, or I'll put that curl on it. Jewelry punch, that works? Awesome. Yeah, they're not very expensive. Same as a jeweler punch. Wonderful, yep. I'm gonna try just ribbons on the next one, see which one I like better. Black and white's going this way, so I'm going to put this tail in going this way. So without the ruffle, it kind of sinks, your ribbons kind of sink in a little more, which is not a big deal. Where's that curl I made? Let's try a curl in there. Not sure. I think I'm going to keep it simple. Now I do have leftover mesh. Let's try a piece of one of our mesh. We got a lot of orange. Let's try a pink piece of mesh and make a ruffle and see how that works. Just kind of playing around to see what I like. Okay, I'm just going to cut a 10-inch piece. So when you do put a ruffle, like I said, your ribbons will sit up a little higher in your design. It's actually quite pretty. I think I like the pink ruffle. Yeah, I think I do. You know what? I'm literally overthinking it. You can use whatever you want. You don't even have to put a ruffle. Maybe I'll do every 4 orange and 4 pink. How's that? That's what I'll do. Have extra mesh here anyways. There we go. Put the orange in. And our ribbons back in. I like that. There you go. So just play around and see what catches your eye, what you like, because 9 times out of 10 what you like, your customers will probably like too, right? And then we can move around our ribbons at the end. That's 2. 3. 4. We'll do 4 pink. 1. So I already have 1 in there, so this is 2. Again, use whatever you have laying around, leftover, matches. No need to open up. I still have enough for a base to do those poofs. Yeah, it does. It just lifts the ribbons up a little bit. That one little extra piece. Now we'll go around and cut the pipe cleaners off. Now you could add florals if you wanted or whatever. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Yes, happy Canada Day to all of you as well. We're celebrating Canada Day. So just going in and adding 1 little ruffle. You can add more if you want. You can make your ruffle bigger. I'm just using 10-inch. Hi, Liz. Oh, did I do 2? I did do 2 oranges back to back. This base doesn't even, it would look so pretty with just the sign and a bow. It really would. With our alternating weave here. All right, one more ruffle. See, I would rather have zip ties in there. Okay, so I'm going to put my sign down here, right there. So I could put tails. I think I will put tails, but I'll have them coming sort of out the side, and then my bow is going to go up there. So I'm still going to put tails here, but I'm just going to kind of angle them out. Can't get this one tight enough. There we go. Angle them out so you can actually see them. That's where my sign's going, so I'm going to put these kind of ribbon tails facing outwards. Okay. Perfect. What is everybody doing today? Your exciting job. I'm supposed to go to a pool party today, but it doesn't really look like pool party weather out there. Sonia, if you post your question in Unique Wreath Creators and maybe put a couple pictures of the mesh that you have in your stash, There are as many people that will help you on there decide what mesh colors to use with the sign. It's a huge resource, that group. Okay, we really don't know what hummingbird sign you're talking about because we have about, I don't know, 8 to 10 different hummingbird signs. All right, one more. Last one. So that's 8 of the 3 ribbons that I chose for this at 14 inches. 8 pieces. Alrighty. We've got a pretty full wreath here now. I'll just cut all these ones I forgot to cut. I'm just using gray. You can't really, once you get everything on, you can't really see the pipe cleaners anyways. I like to use the gray pipe cleaners when I do use pipe cleaners because it matches the back. So if you look on the back, everything's gray and looks nice and neat and professional. Okay, let's put on our sign and see what we got. Like I said, I'm going to put my sign. There's those few that are sticking kind of out the side. Take my pipe cleaner, take the top one. I'm going to go through, stick the pipe cleaners kind of through my little ruffle here. Let me see, hold on. I usually use just the cable mount in the center and I just can go like this, but now I'm using the top and bottom, so we're gonna go right above here, and I'll show you when I flip it over. I'll give it a slight twist on the back, lightly, till I get the bottom one on. Okay. And then we're going right here. Ribbons out the side here. Okay, so where I went, so there is the very center. I went one row up, that's the top, one row down, that's the bottom, and my ribbons are already pulled out, so I can tighten this. So I'm just kind of pulling this till I feel some resistance and give it a twist. And then I'll do the same for the top. Give it a pull, I feel some resistance, give it a twist. There we go. There's the orange there. And we'll go around and fix all the ribbon tails. And make sure our ruffle's not squished. Nice and full. Okay, now I think we could probably leave it as is if you were looking to make it more of an economical wreath, because we did, you know, half a roll of each color and it's pretty full. It's got the nice tails. We got 8 tails. So technically it probably doesn't even need a bow. We got these bright orange and pink with that pop of black and white, bringing out the sign. Right? But I was going to put, I'm going to put a bow right across, right here. Yeah. So I'm going to get my bow maker. It's pretty, yeah. Okay, I'm going to come in with, do we want a long tail one? Yeah, sure. So I'm going to use a 14-inch tail on my bow. And I'm going to start out with this 1.5 inch. Then I'm going to come in with this one. And then I'll come back with this one. So there's my 14-inch tail. This loop, I'm going to do it 6 inches. So I'll do 3. Thank you. Did you guys like that double colored poof base? Something different. I will edit it on just making the base. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of making my bow, the loops, and putting them as I would put them on the wreath. So there's the 3. I'm going to come in with this 2.5. I'm going to do 2 loops. And these 2 loops are going to go between right here and right here. This will really make the bow pop. And I'm going to do these loops at 5 inches. You missed me. I didn't give much warning. I was supposed to go live last night and I was having so much technical difficulties. You never start something and just say, ah, screw it. It's not worth it. That was me last night. I was too tired to be fighting with technology. And of course, you can do your bows however you want to do them. And then I'm going to come back in with this one again. I like this one. This one will be a 4-inch, 1 loop on each side. And then I'm going to do a center loop. So you take your ribbon, you're going to go around your bow maker, or the fingers of your bow maker there. Come around, so it's making that a loop there. Take the edge, go down the center. Adjust the size of that like knot that you want in the center of your loop, and push down, and then cut your tail. Busy week this week. So we have Canada Day today, and then Friday is July 4th for our American friends. So I know a lot of Team Unique is on holidays, so there won't be much this week. I may pop on here and there. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Okay, I'm gonna pull this right up, because I like to secure my bow with a zip tie. I just pull it off. Take one of my zip ties. I'm going through that knot and coming around the bottom. It's not really a knot, a center loop. Okay, and we're gonna do that up. Not super tight, because we wanna adjust everything before we go pull that zip tie really tight. Bring this to the back. And then I just go in with a pipe cleaner, like again, gray, so it matches the board. Did I pull it too tight already? I think I pulled it too tight. Oh, there we go. Okay, and this is where you're going to use what you're going to use to attach your ribbon or your bow. That's what we got. Okay, there's that little center knot. We want our 1, 2, 3 loops. Open them up. Okay, and then our 2 black and white ones are going to go in between those 3 loops in the back. So we got that one, and that one, and then your single is just going to go right in the center of the 2 black and white. So you can literally build your bow on your bow maker as you're going. All right, let's put this bad boy on. Like I said, I'm going to go directly from the middle of the sign, which is right here. I'm going to go right across. Right there is where I'm going with my bow. So I'm just going over top of these tails. It'll enhance the tails a bit. or if you know exactly where your bow is going to go, you can even omit those tails. But I'm still using them. So if we push the bow, we're going to pull these. These are the tails that we put into the base of the wreath. And I'll pull these ones out as well. Alrighty. Okay, so there is where my bow is. I know I'm not pulling it tight because we don't want to suck it in. One, clean up all the pipe cleaners. You just want to cut them off a bit. Keep the back of your wreath nice and neat looking. So these black ones are from our sign. We got our hanger. And then you can arrange your ribbon tails and fix your bow. Usually I like to do this on the door while it's hanging up. You can see it a little better. And we'll roll these tails. And there we go. So we used half a roll of pink, half a roll of orange mesh, I'm going to open all these up, and I'll fix the tails when it's on the door because I'll probably have to roll them. And there we go. Oh, I might have to move that bow up a bit. Yeah, I think I may move my bow up a little bit. But you guys get the gist. That's why I like to do it on the door. Because when you stand it up and look, it's like, oh, okay, I'll have to adjust this and adjust that, fix these tails. So it's best to do it when it's hanging up. That's why a lot of people have like wreath stands and stuff. I have a wreath stand, but I just use my door because after I fix it, I usually have to take pictures of it and everything. But there we go. So basically I wanted to show you guys the method of the poofs with the two different colors. I wanted to show you this really beautiful variegated, it's really thick. It's a variegated striped mesh we have in. We got lots of checkered ribbons, perfect for Halloween. We got some striped ones. So check out the new items. We have, for those of you that are making dragons, we have the deluxe, all the deluxe foil and horizontal wide stripe mesh, all back in stock. All the colors are back in stock again. So you might want to grab those. And yeah, so I know a lot of Halloween and fall and everything is, they're running a little bit late, coming from overseas. So you'll see stuff, not just with us, with everybody's periodically popping up for fall and Halloween. So just an FYI, it is running a little late, but it is only July 1st, so. All right, that's all I got for you guys. So those of you that are my Canadian peeps, happy Canada Day. Stay cool. And if I don't see you guys before Friday, happy 4th of July to the Canadian folks, our American folks. And I can't wait to see what you guys make next. Thanks.